Hey everyone, I'm Mordechai. I go by Mr. Mort on the internet. I'm here to talk about suits and how the celebrities are wearing them. Baggy, relaxed, slouched, sack, love it. In a world where menswear is just getting slimmer and slimmer and smaller, I gotta give a guy credit for any body type for wearing something slightly sacky. You can call it oversized, I wouldn't. I'd call it comfortable. And that's another thing, on the carpet or at an award ceremony, at a wedding, at a formal affair, should a man be comfortable? It's tricky. I mean, you wanna be comfortable, but you don't wanna be like, too comfortable. And there's a fine line, I don't know what this ceremony awards for, but I see red carpet, and I love Jonas' suit. I love how high the pants are. I love how they're long, but he's not walking on them. I like how you might think the jacket's schlumpy, but when he shakes your hand, it probably doesn't go up here. You know what I mean? It fits right, and the zip knit with it, as opposed to a t-shirt, as opposed to a button-up, I like that. I like a little bit of collar. He can argue if someone says, oh, this is a black tie event, or, please, that's my tie. There's something really cool about how Steven's suit fits. It's slightly ill-fitting in a way that the body of the jacket looks slightly oversized, and the jacket sleeve looks sort of high and short, but not small. I like that. I like that it's with a t-shirt, because if the dress shirt fit right, it would look weird. And if the dress shirt was oversized, then he would look big. But the fact that he's a white t-shirt, the fact that it might be tucked in, it might be not, it might be tucked, but just slightly over the waistband, and just the word juxtaposition of wearing a Nike or a sneaker with that, and not like a perfectly clean look at me shoe. I mean, that might be some high-end, super fancy schmancy Nike, but to me it looks regular. I like that. I don't want to see a patent leather shoe, but I like a hard bottom with a suit. Many suits today are not created for hard bottoms. They're created to wear with a sneaker. They're created to wear with a sandal. A baggy suit or a slightly slouchy suit, I think, would look weird with a lace-up shoe that wasn't bulky. They're wearing sort of slim, trim sneakers. They're not wearing bulky dad sneakers. The bulky dad sneaker with this would kind of take away from the big pant. However, the big pant doesn't make the shoe look super slim either. I think it's a perfect combination. If they had a loafer on, or a classic wingtip, or a classic evening shoe, I think it might be too much. I don't know what the dress code is for this particular event, but they did it right. To see celebrities done right on the red carpet is just a really, really, really nice feeling for me. Next up, we have a category called fashion tailoring. In a time where men are wearing women's and women's are wearing so much men's, when I look at Jaden's suit, I wouldn't have known, if I didn't pay so much close attention to fashion, that it's actually a women's suit. I love how it fits him. I like how the sleeve hits short to show off his bracelets. I would almost think it was tailored for him like that. I really like that. I like how his belt is slightly askew. The Louis logo is not dead center. That probably is a mistake, but that's a good mistake. And I love how the t-shirt's tucked in. The length of the jacket's kind of weird, but the fact that it's a zipper compensates for the length. I think the sneakers take away from the entire look, because that's all I see. But if you ask me what shoe would I like to see with that, I'd have to think long and hard, and I'd say maybe a Chuck Taylor, because it keeps it sneaker, but it also keeps it sort of trim. Then again, the gold sole probably matches a lot of his jewelry. I would have liked to see this live. I'd like to know what his graphic tee says, but that's a pretty cool take on on fashion tailoring. Love the color of what Rocky chose, or what his stylist chose. I love the peak lapel. I love the rope shoulder, exaggerated. I love that he wore a white classic button-up shirt. I don't know that it needed to be untucked. Maybe he's just coming from the bathroom real quick and it was a quickie. I like that. I love the drapiness of the trouser. I'd love to see him walk and make sure that he's not walking on them. But if you're really rich and you want to abuse clothes and walk on the back of them, by all means, go for it. The color is killer. That color on him is just beautiful. Polo casual. Not the brand, but the style shirt. These guys are wearing suits, they're getting dressed. Might not be to a wedding, it might be award ceremony, but the polo dresses up the outfit. It's not that their only French cuff shirt was in the dry cleaners, it's that they chose to be sort of easy styles with it and let the suit talk. For Seth Rogen, for example, yeah, the polo's talking, not the suit, but it's buttoned up, it's a collar, it's a contrast collar of black with the black and white polo, and I really like that. Might have chosen a different color, but I like the black and blue together. Brad Pitt, been photographed a gazillion times at these award ceremonies. I love the banded waistband on the polo, so it's not tucked in, it can be tucked in, but because it's banded, it's sort of like a sweater, and I like how it's sort of bloused out, and I like how the polo has maybe a shirt collar and not a knit collar. You can't tell, you have to look really, really close to it. I like that paired with a suit, open with ease. 70s. I was born in 75. I think I'm 70s. Love an exaggerated collar, love a butterfly, love psychedelics in print and pattern, that is. And I love a flared leg with a sort of pointy Chelsea boot. Love the a velvet jacket paired with like a wool trouser, so it's not all velvet. He moves with such ease. The length of the sleeve is just perfect. It's not too long, it's not too short. The one button is sort of formal and elegant, but because the jacket has wear to it, it just so rock and roll. I love the 70s done right. I wouldn't mind seeing more bell bottoms. I like how they're doing it now where it's an exaggerated flare, but it's not a bell bottom. I'm not sure if this photo of Richard is on a runway or on the street, or the runway was on the street, but I love a turtleneck with a suit. While I think it's 70s, I also believe it's really classic, depending on the lapel. What's cool here is that the jacket is sort of classic. It doesn't scream 70s. The pants, however, if you look at the bottom, super flare, but they're actually wide all the way through, so it might be borrowed from the 70s in the width of the bottom or in the styling of a suit with a turtleneck, but I love how it's done here. Can't deny this trend of cropped jackets when getting dressed up. Suits, evening, formal. I like how Virgil does it because it's tonal. So if the jacket's cropped, you almost don't notice. In his sense, I like where the crop lies. It's not cropped to the belly button. It's not cropped to the waist. It's cropped where it'd be just shorter than a blazer. And I like how, I don't know if it's his posture, I don't know if it's how he's standing, but how one sort of length is longer than the other. I like that because it's humane, it's normal, it's real wear, it's not perfect. I also like, when I look at the jacket closely, how it's elasticated in the back in a sort of vintage way where it cinches and it brings the fabric together, but it's not feminine, it's not showing off his physique, and it's open. There's no clip, no closure, no buckle, no snap, no magnet. There might be, but we don't see that. I like that it keeps it clean, and it's tonal, and it's self fabric. I believe those are all the same fabric. I love that. The extra long jacket. You know, growing up as a Hasidic Jew, we wear a long jacket once we get married on the Sabbath and holidays, so it's always in my mind. Seeing it in fashion, I love it because it takes a formal Prince Edwardian long coat and having fun with it. It works as a dinner jacket, it works as formal wear, it works as getting dressed up, but it's also kind of trenchy and kind of cardigan-like and slouchy. I like that because when you walk, it gives you a little bit more fabric, you know? It doesn't need to be the exact same fabric as the pant. It doesn't need to be a suit. I like it as a suit. I like it open, I like it without a tie, I love it with a t-shirt, and I love it with shoes. Proper footwear, hard bottoms. Retro dandy. I like to ask, does the dandy exist? When you do Google searches and you read about the dandies back in the day, and is a man dressed up today a dandy? I like that we're calling this retro dandy because in a lot of these photos and these award ceremonies, they're so over the top that this sort of traditional classic menswear is almost dandy because they had the gall, the nerve to wear something normal. It's a double-breasted, but it's an exaggerated shoulder. It's an exaggerated peak lapel. It's an exaggerated width of the trouser, but he's got Gucci loafers. And I like these looks that if you took his head away, this could be a 90-year-old man, this could be a 22-year-old young fella. I love how the pocket square is behind the lapel, but still peeking out and not throwing up like a lot of young dandies. So what I love about Richard's suit is that it's easy styles, and this suit, it could be Zegna, it could be $2,000, it could also be from Men's Wearhouse. And I like that because it fits right, it's understated, but the sheen and the fabric give it a little pop to, like, the knowing eye looks expensive. Denim as a suit. When I think of the denim suit, I think of, they call it the Canadian tuxedo. When you have a company like Byrina in Italy who's making double-breasted denim suits tailored that look like linen or denim, you can't even tell. That's a beautiful thing. Wearing a khaki suit with a denim vest is a great way to add denim to a formal or dressy suit. We see the high-waisted, wide-leg denim suit it might be so much that he has to hold the jacket. When the denim is all different denims and it's black and blue or different shades of blue as a suit, it should really be lived in. And when I say that, I mean, when I try on suits, I often want to sit on the couch for 3 hours before wearing it, because I think a good fabric, it wears with you, and you don't look stiff. And when the denim is heavy and mismatched, and it's your first time wearing it, it's gonna look pretty crispy, and it shouldn't. Denim should be ready to go. I don't believe that a denim suit is formal, but it can be dressy. Shades of brown. When watching these award ceremonies, traditionally a sea of black tuxedos. Lately, and I say lately over the last, 10 or so years, we'll see burgundies, we'll see whites, we'll see navy blue, we'll see midnight blue. It's kind of refreshing to see shades of brown. It's not something that I would have thought of for a formal award ceremony. I love how Sebastian did 3 shades of brown. I love it. I love the brown shirt, how it's just slightly melted chocolate to the dark chocolate jacket. And the chocolate brown tie, almost tonal with the suit. Really, really beautiful. Zac Posen, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, he's a fashion designer. He can wear a gown, women's gown, he can wear lace, he can wear anything he wants. Super conservative, 1 button, notched lapel, and the jacket length is perfect as well. Refreshing to see. And Zac's sort of like shimmery, shiny without being shiny, I think is really, really cool, because there's some men on the carpets that it's just straight up like aluminum foil.